So President Trump holding that high-stakes phone call today with the Russian President Vladimir Putin. It lasted 2+ hours. Putin said it was frank and substantive. Trump called it, quote-unquote, very successful, adding Russia and Ukraine will begin negotiations toward a ceasefire right away. Trump also spoke today with the president of Ukraine, Volodymyr Zelenskyy, shortly after the Putin call, and says he's also informed top European leaders and the Vatican, which has offered to host the peace talks with the new Pope, Pope Leo. Here with us now is the former U.S. Ambassador to Ukraine, Distinguished Fellow at the Atlantic Council's Eurasia Center, Ambassador Bill Taylor. Welcome back, Ambassador. It's always good to talk to you, and I'm curious of what you took away from what you heard from both sides after the call today.
So, Connell, I think it was good that they talked. It was actually also good that President Trump talked to President Zelenskyy, both before and after his conversation with President Putin. It's important that President Zelenskyy make it very clear the importance of a ceasefire. And so President Trump had that in mind when he went into this conversation about ceasefire. He also heard from Europeans over the last 2 days about how important the ceasefire is to them as well, and that they're prepared to put on more sanctions on Russia if Putin didn't agree to a ceasefire.
Okay.
We don't know if there was an agreement on a ceasefire yet. We know that there's agreement to talk. That's what Putin generally does.
So right. And then whether he follows through on that and then follows through even more on that and goes to the ceasefire is a completely open story. I thought it was interesting. I'm not going to read the whole thing. We looked at it earlier. Trump's social media post right after the call said he just completed it. He believes it went very well. But what stood out to me, at least in part, was his comments on trade. Later down, if we circle through the screens, he would say, Russia wants to do large-scale trade with the United States when this catastrophic bloodbath is over. And I agree. There's a tremendous opportunity for Russia to create massive amounts of jobs. And then he said the same about Ukraine. Because I was wondering, about leverage and what Trump tries to use. Trade is something he talks about a lot. Can it be used here as effectively as leverage?
I think it can. I think it can. President Trump does have leverage over Putin. And it's clear that President Putin knows that. And trade is one of them. And I'm sure that President Putin knows how weak his economy is, how important it is. And that gives President Trump the ability to put pressure on President Putin to come to an agreement. First, a ceasefire, and then a settlement. So that's the only way the trade happens. That's why the trade comment is interesting.
Right. Last thing, this was interesting to me before the call, and I'm wondering if it's changed. When J.D. Vance was speaking, what I heard, and maybe if you heard something different, tell me, is that, well, if this doesn't work out, Putin doesn't know how to end the war, we're going to have to walk away. And all I was thinking, and I brought this up last hour, is, well, boy, if he knows that, he's just going to string us along, and then we do walk away, and he's where he wants to be. Did you hear the same thing? And if so, do you think it's different now?
I did hear the same thing, and I don't think this administration is walking away. I think they have made this a very high priority. They tell me, the people in the administration tell me that this is their top foreign policy priority, and we see the President of the United States spending a lot of time, the Vice President, the National Security Advisor, Secretary of State, they spend a lot of time on this. Walking away is not an option. They've got some leverage that they can bring to bear to push Putin to do what they're after doing, and they ought to use that leverage.
Okay, and like we said, maybe trade has something to do with that. Ambassador Bill Taylor, thank you, as always. Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.